What's up, turtles? It's Krik here with Black Outdoors. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Kershaw Skyline 1084 fixed blade knife. I have it in its sheath right now. This is a black sheath that comes with it, leather, which is nice stitching. I like leather sheaths. Anything you have to be careful about if you're going to store your knives long term in a leather sheath. The leather can hold moisture and potentially rust your knives, so keep them oiled, check them out frequently, all that good stuff. But nice belt loop on the side. Nice little leather sheath. I think the sheath weighs about 1.5 ounces. Overall length of this knife, 7.5 inches. Blade length, 3 1/8. Weighs 2.7 ounces. Thickness of this puppy is 1/8 of an inch. Really thin G10 scales. Textured, this really blaze orange, if you will. I'm not a huge fan of this really super contrasting, handle color on knives, but since this is smaller, I can dig that. If I had a larger fixed blade, I probably wouldn't like this. But for the sake of potentially setting this on the ground, it's going to offer contrast and not lose it in the leaf litter. So I do like the color. I do like the color. It is I want to call this a modified Scandi. You see this big primary bevel here and a secondary down here, and it won't be able to pick it up probably with the camera, but this primary bevel to my eye looks concave, which I believe is true and on purpose for the intended use of this knife. And I guess you could call this a drop point. It's really pronounced. It looks the outline of a spear point, but obviously the back here is not sharpened as a spear point would, but it's very symmetrical. More of a spear point than a drop point, but you can call it what you will. It's nice. And I don't know much about the steel, the alloy this is made out of. It's a 14C28N. This is the first time I've ever seen it in a knife, personally. I don't know much about it. I believe the chromium level percentage is, I think, 14%, which is making this a stainless, which again is sort of a tip to what this knife's intended use is, and that is basically for cutting game and food, processing game, gutting, taking hide, removing hide from flesh, all that. A great knife around camp if you're going to be using this as a cook knife. If you're processing your food, like I said, large enough, 7.5 inches, large enough to really work on deer, elk, but also small enough, and I'm also able to sort of choke up on this. I feel this is really, you have enough control. It's thin enough. It comes very sharp to really work at a rabbit or a squirrel, which is much smaller. So if you have the control with this, since it is thin. Like I said, the scales are thin. You have a lot of control. A lot of control with the knife. And while I don't have a carcass lying around, I do have at least something I can cut with this, so you can see how sharp it is. Nice little red tomato. Oops, excuse me. Anyways, get that to sit. This lanyard does not come with it. It's been added because it is small, fits in the hand. If you wanted to wrap this around, give you a little bit more control of the knife in your hand. Something to think about. Doesn't come with it, but it's been added. Like I said, and I want to reiterate, this is not a survival knife. This is not meant to baton, go through crazy wood, all of that stuff. It's meant for processing game and using to cook with, basically. It's going right through that. Right through this tomato. I'm hardly putting any pressure on this. I'm just letting the knife cut. Oh, I'm gonna eat that. Like I said, the 14% chromium in this alloy, making it stainless, makes it really nice for to use food that potentially is high in acid, which can wreak havoc on high carbon blades. So all in all, I like this knife. If you have room in your kit for something you want to carry along for cooking or to skin during hunting season, all that good stuff, or if you live and you hunt year round on your land, this could be a nice knife for you. This is Krik signing out with Black Outdoors. Later, turtles.